3, 2. Hey, welcome
Oh,
to Cut Issa podcast. I am Amanda Washington with my sister, Antonia Washington. If you didn't notice, we are twin sisters. Um, and we have a podcast where we focus on Black film, Black media, Black culture, and we commentate on it. So you can follow our podcast on Cut Is Rap. It's on all streaming platforms, and usually we have the podcast side, but this time, because we love this episode, we love Ready to Love, and we love like reality TV. So this is our first time actually going live and doing a review of a show. So I'm glad that you're here with us today, following our journey, and then following how we could just say our thoughts and say our piece on the good old web. So welcome to this good old show. Let's get into it.
And kudos to all you creative content creators, because developing content is hard work. We was going to do this for the fun of it, but then we realized, there's some intricate pieces that goes with this.
Yeah.
So be delicate to those content creators. We had the first episode we did review, but technical difficulties happen, so we're it's still in the process. So look out for that, because that was a really good review. So go ahead and look for that. That will be forthcoming. This one will probably be up before the first one.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah. We're going backwards.
But we love it. We are going to get right into it. We are born and raised in DC, so this reviewing the Ready and Love, the location in DC is the kind of a little special place in our heart. So we're excited about it.
We're super excited about it because especially watching this episode, it was at certain locations. I was like, that's New Street. I don't know where that's at. So I'm really excited because we actually live in Atlanta and so homesick. I am homesick. So when I saw that Ready to Love was in DC, I was like, we have to watch it. We have to do a review. We have our little side conversations about it, and it's all great and in depth. So I was like, let me, these people are going to get a gist of our thoughts and our opinions. And we're not going to do it on our podcast, which you can find on Spotify and all of your streaming platforms. Follow and subscribe. But we decided to do Ready to Love on YouTube. So let's get into it. Are you ready?
I'm ready. So let's start with, so in the beginning, I like that. Okay, so their theme this episode is getting to know each other before you go, right? So getting to know each other, but before they got to know each other, they went to a little cocktail hour. And I know Tasia came first. I don't know, production planned that for her to come in before everybody else to confront them, or that just happened by happenstance. But I like that she came in and was direct with the guys and was like, okay, so I thought I was vibing with everybody. I mean, a few of you. So why was I at the bottom? She did confront them in the beginning, and I'm not sure who said it, but first it looked like they were a little taken aback by her at first, kind of saying something about it. One person said, I didn't have an interaction with you. Nobody else really said anything. I didn't catch them. Did you catch them say anything about why she was at the bottom? Because I'm still curious to know she was bottom, because I feel like she was having a good conversation with a few of the guys.
Yeah.
Don't want it.
You see Tasia. Tasia is, she's actually she's the thickest of all the women. She's, thick in all the right places. So it's not like, I mean, she's healthy with it. But she looks amazing. She can rock any dress from Shin or Fashion Nova. and make it look fly. So she's that type of person. So I don't know if it's the network who have a thing against thick women, because we saw that last season with I don't know the girl name, but she's a comedian. She wore the curly hair.
Yeah,
So it's like they wanted to give the narrative that she was the homie or whatever. And I don't know if they want to give that narrative because she's a certain size. So I don't know if it's production or not, because if she's taken aback that she's getting this great feedback, and even from the men we're hearing, we heard them from previous episode. He's like, I don't know what she was saying, but I was looking at that body. Like everybody was talking about her body. And not to say that's, anyway,
that's
guys love body, yada, yada. That's attraction. So they were obviously attracted to her. So if I was her, I'd be curious too. Why did y'all take me out? I mean, why am I in the bottom? So yeah, I'm glad that she did that.
Yeah. And did you notice that, some of the guys, okay, maybe it was just me, but the guys, they were a little taken back by her directness. But if you were, I would say if she was in the bottom, if she's asking you directly, why was I in the bottom? I think she needs a direct answer. And nobody was giving her that. Or I didn't catch it. Maybe they edited it, but they never gave her a direct answer. So maybe it could have been production, or men just be scary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I honestly didn't see that part.
That was in the very, very beginning.
I missed the first 6 minutes of that episode, and I couldn't go back. But if they couldn't answer, okay, yeah, they couldn't answer. Or I would say, gosh, I had a thought as soon as you were talking, and a thought literally came to my mind about how that could have happened.
Mm.
But long story short, I feel like it could be production. Only because we know the track record of production on this show.
Mm-hmm.
They could show one thing to the audience, and then at the reunion, they show everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we should have saw during the whole thing. Like production takes out everything and then show us like a little cookie cutter story. So you know what? Giving production's track record, I'm gonna say it was production only because of their track record, because it's trash. Honestly, sorry you guys, but not sorry. You guys, I feel like they take out so much important details or so much like intricate details for the viewer that we don't know nothing about it until the reunion.
And you shouldn't be, but I think everything should at least leave it to us. You know how in other reality shows, the people who are in the mix of it, in the thick of it, they may not know what's going on, but the production will give us a behind the scenes so we can be in the know. Because and overall, these people are still going to watch it afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
They need to see, because when the reunion do come up, they need some information
Mm-hmm.
so they can address some situations that they saw when everybody saw it at the same time.
Yep.
Don't blindside these people during the reunion show, and they got to think of stuff on the top of their head, like trying to save face. Let people know why everybody watching. That's all I got to say about that.
Right.
Next we had, so the guys were about to get, our guys is going to get eliminated. I wanted to talk about Tyrone. Tyrone is probably one of my favorites so far. Well, I don't know, because he's a little awkward, so socially awkward, but he can communicate well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one that went to.
He doesn't sugarcoat his communication either, but that's later on.
Yeah. So in the beginning, before we get to that, Tyrone was, he went on a date with Zadia. Is it Zadia or Zadia? They went on a date. I think their date was very. I think that was probably a little further, but
Is it the lady that wore the I'm sitting young woman because I don't want to call the girl. Is it the girl? Because that's not really auntie saying. Is it the young lady that wore the jogging outfit?
yeah, they had a good conversation. I believe it was healthy.
Yeah.
Zadia gives me, she's authentic. I kind of like her, and I like that they brought her up because I didn't see her in the first episode. Actually, I forgot she was there. And she's quite the opposite from her bio video. Like her bio video was like, I tell it like it is. I joke at people, da 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 da.
I'm a boss.
Yeah, but when
She
she
was the main one. A lot of people had a problem with that you had to make an appointment to have a date with her. That was her intro.
right,
So that can take people. That can take people like, oh, what girl?
that was taken aback with that. But looking at her date, it went well. She seemed, I don't know, she gives me like a peaceful demeanor, really calm. She has a calmness about her. And I think she kind of matched well with Tyrone on that date. Um, so we'll see how that goes. And then they were holding hands, they were a little touchy. And then we discovered that Tyrone suffers from PTSD.
He was in the army. He was in that. Ouch, ouch, ouch! I just hurt myself. He was in the army. So
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
I'm glad he said something. And this is the thing. A lot of us, the people who were at the bottom, you don't realize you only have a few minutes, and not a few minutes, a few days to actually be authentic. You got to get off the, oh, what's your name? What's your sign?
Mm-hmm.
So he buy that one. I just creep up from behind.
What you doing?
No, you have to be authentic, and I think you have to go for it and be a little vulnerable. And the guys, you notice the guys who are not authentic or not vulnerable, they end up being at the bottom or getting eliminated, and that's what happened today. Which we'll get.
Yeah, and one thing I like about their date with what's her name? Z. I'm gonna call her Z. But I know Tyrone, I always like Tyrone. First
Oh,
of all, one thing I like about Tyrone is when you see him, he's very mannish. He looking like a man. His hands are strong, his shoulders are blazed. Like he
it's
got this
all
nice
strong.
strong nose and a nice strong jaw. Like he looking like a man. So I think that's probably would draw her to his attention. Her to that attention, and then drew him to her attention. I mean, she's a fitness trainer, so she's very put together, and she has the physique of somebody that can handle a person that's from the army.
Yeah.
They match really well together, I would say. They looked really cute. So hopefully we learn later down the line that, he's juggling too many women, so he had to let one go. But so we'll we'll talk about that
We talking
later.
right now.
Oh, we're talking about that right now. Yes, sure.
You got on sexy laundry. Can you do it?
Wait, do I? I don't know.
You got on the put on your red dress.
Do I? I just have on my robe. I don't know what you can see. Hold on. I'm bringing it closer. I'm sorry. It's late, y'all.
Comfortable.
It's late and I am comfortable. I don't got a big ECSU sweatshirt I can put on. Um,
But yes, so Tyrone, what I didn't know at the very end, we noticed that, well, we realized that Tyrone, he was at one of the top, he was one of the top people. His name kept coming up as
mhm.
well. So his name was coming up, and he was dating a few of the ladies. And so again, he was at my top.
He's at my top.
Another woman, her name escapes me, the lady with the braids.
It starts with a K.
And y'all need to put the name so we can know who we're
Very
talking
frequently,
about
every time, especially in the beginning of the episode.
in the
Put
beginning.
their names up there often. Every time they show up.
Every time they come on the scene,
And
not
I
just
don't want to
for
blink and
confession.
then their name is gone. No, keep it up there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it off. Don't put it up there for 3 seconds and take it off. Leave their name up there, please.
Not
Every time they come on the screen, put it up there. Identify themselves. For first time, 5 seconds. Second time, 3 seconds. That's all.
I don't want to just see it during confessionals. I need to see it the whole,
Mm.
because when you blink, we miss it. So now, so don't blame me that I don't know her name. It's production. We just met you, so I don't remember her name. It's the girl with the braids. So she had a problem with Tyrone calling her, saying that
Hold on,
he
let me
no
look.
longer pursue her because he's interested. He can't juggle, or he's not interested in her anymore. Anyway, she said he was very cold. And then Shiloh,
Carrie. Her name is Carrie.
Gary, okay. Then he said he called Shiloh and said he felt bad about it because he couldn't juggle too many women and he had to just basically narrow it down. And I get that and I respect that because it's exhausting talking or dating to other people, getting to know them in a very deep way or a deep level. You do.
Especially if you're intentional. He seems like he's very intentional about his dating process.
Right. So you're gonna have to disconnect with somebody that excuse me, you're not vibing as much as with. And that was a very adult thing to do. So sometimes you have to just cut it cold turkey and just be like, because you don't want to, draw the line and make a gray area where you can say, oh, I'm not interested in you right now. He didn't say that.
Right
He
now.
basically said, no.
No, it's gotta, and I think that's admirable, whatever. Because some guys would just lead you on and string you along until they make a decision. So I really, I like how he's upfront, honest. But Kira, I feel like she had an issue with that. She didn't get an explanation or whatever. Honestly, for me, if you say you're not feeling me, I don't need to know why. I'm like, well, why? Well, why? I don't need to know. But maybe would I want to know why? I mean, if I'm curious, sure. And I was really feeling you, I wouldn't want to know why for the next, dating series. But other than that, I mean, I really don't care why you. I mean, I'm just not your cup of tea because I'm dope, but you not feeling this dopeness. I don't really need to know why. But I sing for the next episode. She's sitting down with him and I guess asking him why he cut her off.
Or why was he so cold? Because I think her issue was he was cold. He said he the least she was the least connected, um,
Okay.
that had the connection. So I think that would be clear to me if somebody said that we don't have a connection, or I'm the person with the least amount of connection you have. That will be fine. Okay, so we're not connected. You ain't vibing with me. Cool.
Moving on.
I don't need to know.
So yeah, so I don't know if she was prompted to ask him that. But no, because even with in a wine bar with nephew Tommy and all the young ladies when they were trying to see who they wanted to eliminate, she brought up the fact that he broke it off with her coldly. And maybe that prompted her to ask that question when people looked at her like, oh, what he did. One thing I like about that, because to bring it back to when they were at the wine bar trying to eliminate the guys or just debrief about how their dates went. And I know I'm moving forward.
Girl back and forth, but
You know,
they
I'm moving forward. I really liked how all the women felt transparent to me. They weren't like they were really bringing up like conversations they had in private. Um, they really, what I saw, I felt they were being transparent and forthcoming with how they felt about the men, and that's what I like.
Yeah, and yeah. Speaking of being transparent with the men, um, Camille is going to have to chill. The teacher.
Yes. Who's been engaged? She's been engaged 3 times.
Three times. And and I see, okay, once you like somebody, you're gravitating towards them, that you feel some type of way, so you're like, bam, we go together. First of all, that's a cautionary. You don't know him. You don't know him from a can of paint. Um, maybe you have initial attraction, but this is a dating show. You're supposed to date people, numerous, a lot of people, and your eyes are just set on Cornelius, and
And
dating everybody. At like when they were at the
everybody likes Cornelius, and that's the man. That's the dude she chose to name her company after. Negro, please. Yeah, that's her boo. That's who she got her claws in. And that's what I'm saying with her. Out in my notes, everybody with Cornelius, all the women like Cornelius. And I was like, because he's a church. Errol saying he's a church guy, he's respectful, he's conservative. So I was like, okay, so these women like church guys, or guys that appear to be loyal, have a high moral status, or I mean, that's who they appear to like. So
I think he's also a good listener. Some of
yeah,
these guys are not a good listener, or not really good conversationalists,
yeah,
and he is listening, giving feedback. So I think, like the girl said, I think it was Carrie when she said she stayed on the phone with Cornelius for about 3 hours. So they probably was talking about something intriguing. You know what I mean? So so he is
yeah.
knowledgeable.
And then and it's the thing, because I don't really know Corny's personality. I feel like he's very I feel like he's a good guy, and he's focused on doing the right thing and not making a mistake. So I feel like he's like a stand up guy. Like he lived his life, but now it's like, no, I just want to focus on the Lord. But I'm curious to know what led you to just focus on the Lord and because it's not like you were celibate all your life. You lived your life, and now you decided to be celibate. So I'm just really curious about how you got there, or what led you there. There's a story there, and I'm just curious about that. Um,
I just want Camille to date. I don't want her to get eliminated because she is so fixated on Cornelius. Cornelius is he's yes, he's interested in you, but he's also interested in other people.
yeah,
And what if he stopped being interested in you, and you haven't really ventured out and seen what the other guys are talking about?
right. And that's happened on the show before. When you put all your eggs in one basket with one dude or one person, and they're not for that.
Hmm.
Or she could just be that person uh and just have her mind on that person, and then everybody else see, okay, well, that's her dude. They ain't gonna mess with him.
They not like that. They're like, oh, you like Cornelius? That's cute. Oh, okay.
I like Cornelius.
Yes, we've been talking for about 3 hours. Like, and then
He give her 3 hours.
don't get caught up with Courtney, Miss Courtney. I call her girl just want to have fun with
Oh
the.
yeah, with the hair, yeah.
Yeah, she's willing and able. She planted her she pissed on that tree a long time ago with Cornell.
Hmm.
So she was over there rubbing on his leg. Did you see that part?
I saw it, and she's enticed, getting enticed with him in the physical part,
Yeah.
and the teacher, she's trying to get him on the spiritual.
Yeah. And
So this is so interesting. So interesting. And then I was like, the teacher, I was like, damn, is she going through a hot flash? I feel her. She had the fan the whole time. I don't know what stomach. Let me tell you, if you in DC in the summertime, DC in the summertime is nothing like, okay, we in Atlanta. Atlanta is just hot. It's just hot.
It's burning the skin.
It just feels like you're by the sun. It's just hot. But if you ever spent summers in DC, it's not just hot. It's hot. It's humid. It's muggy. It's dry. Like it's all of that in one. So I'm like, I don't know what season that was that they were in when they were taping this, but she had her fan to her face the whole time. And I was like, I feel you. I know because we by the water. It's just you get all that moisture. It's not just hot. It's not just hot. It's everything.
Hot. Hot.
So I was cracking up with that fan. She didn't take that fan off her face at all. What speaking of fan and sweating, the date that wait, I did my notes. I don't know her name or if I got her name.
Give me 1 second. Go ahead. We'll talk about Courtney in a second.
Oh, Cornelius, go ahead. You want to finish Cornelius? Sorry.
Oh, we're done with Cornelius. I'm just talking about Courtney while we were on Courtney.
Okay.
No, okay. She's probably. I think she's ready for a good time. I'm not sure.
Good time. Oh yeah.
But she only in town for
just a night, maybe 2.
Night. Yeah, she looking for a good time, not a long time. She seemed like a party girl to me. I don't know when her conversations are also just one level. She's talking about physical, sexual. Da, 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 da. I mean, that's fine. You got to get to that conversation, but what are some other things do you care about? What is you're not connecting on a deeper level for me, or production is not showing it. I don't know, but she just seemed like she is not there for not for a long term commitment. But hey, I just need somebody. I need a plus one.
Mm. Or this was a great opportunity, and I would like to apply for this show. Because even in her confessional, she didn't give any hints that she was ready to love. Even on the going back to the first episode, introducing the characters and all that, she didn't give any signs that she was like really ready to settle down. She was still like she a hot girl looking for a hot boy, basically. That's what I got.
So fixated on her baby father. She kept bringing him. I mean, just like, yeah, he wants me to be a party girl. And I'm not with that. I have a kid. Da, da, da. Okay, maybe you don't want to party like he partying, but you still trying to kick back. So
yeah. So yeah, and for her to be flirty, with a man who wants to be celibate until marriage, but she's like testing that boundary, putting her hand on his lap. So anyway, it's interesting. I'm curious to see how this is gonna play out. All right, so the next one, who do you have on your list? Oh, what stood out?
Somebody fanning. Did you find out who you was talking about?
Huh? Who was fanning? Oh, the date with Oh, I wrote down her name. Where is it? Hold on. Aisha. Aisha and the other dude. It's Aisha and the guy
Harrington.
Okay. Yes. They had their date at Ben's next door. It was on U Street. It was cute or whatever. As soon as I saw, I was like, oh shoot, they in U Street. And I was like, Ben's next door. I got so nostalgic. I want to go home so bad. But those of you who don't know, that Ben's next door is just right beside Ben's Chili Bowl, which is a national landmark in Washington, D.C. Ben's Chili Bowl, you got to check it out. It's been there since forever during the riots. It survived the riots, survived Martin King assassinations. But anyway, it's been there and it's Black owned. So Yeah, check that out. That's always people always check that place out. So they established Ben's Next Door, which is more like a restaurant place. It's not fast food in and out. You get your chili dogs or whatever. This place you can sit down, eat, blah blah blah. So I think that's where they were at, and it was cute. I thought it was cute for them to just like shoot there. But anyway, I felt nostalgic. Was I giving too much or being too into the moment?
Honey, go ahead, honey. You
Bless you. So on their date, while she was talking, I felt like Aisha was really because she always said she went through therapy. She just wanted to vet him to see if he was right for her. And the more that she probed and asked him questions,
mm-hmm.
the more that her body language started to shrink. Like, oh, I don't like him no more. First, she was open. You could feel the energy that she liked him, and she was flirty. And as he was asking the questions about, first about how he's never been in a real relationship, how he views relationships, talking about she asked him if he's ever cheated, and if he did, what did he learn from that? And he said, "I never been in a relationship to cheat." So I guess he did that. He said, "I did it intentionally, so I wouldn't cheat." Blah blah blah. And she just started to like shrink because she didn't like that vibe. So really, I feel like he was giving off an F boy vibe. Like,
And we said episode, he seemed like a little fuck boy.
yes, he did. So she did. She wasn't feeling that, but he was feeling her. He said she has all the vibe, all the things that he likes. I like a put. He said he like a put together woman. Nails done, hair done, every did it. And she's a hairstylist, so she was very put together. He said that's the type of woman that he likes. And so as he was talking and as she was asking him questions, you could see him like patting the sweat off his
He was getting hot.
face. She looked cool, calm, and collected like the whole time, but he was just a sweating. I was like, I know it's summertime, but dang, he is sweating hard. So I feel like that's an indication of where he is and where he is in his dating life, in my opinion. So.
And you hit the nail on the head. Aisha, she's right now. She's first of all, she thought the age was an issue because he is 33 and she's 38. I don't really think that's an issue. I think it's maturity. He hasn't been in a relationship. I'm not knocking anybody who has not been in a relationship because some people it does, you know exactly what you want, or maybe you're picky. But in his situation, he sounded like he just didn't want to be in a commitment. Um, he also he's all in the physical. I feel like he was more of a physical appearance. Aisha has the whole persona of fly girl.
A fly girl, right? And she from New York, so she got that up north swag.
Yeah, and he likes that. That's the image because he's also in the club scene, socialite or whatever. So he's all in the imagery, and she has to be like, man, being a hairstylist nowadays, you got to have your Instagram on point. You always got to look put together because you're selling a brand. That's your brand. So of course you're going to be like that. But she seemed very healthy, and she knows exactly what she wants. She wants a commitment. She wants somebody who can love her and her two kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that she took her kids to therapy too.
I love that. And love that. She said she was with this man since she was her ex-husband. She was with him since she was 19 until she was 31, I think. Her 30s. That's a long time. Her kids deserve therapy. She deserves therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I commend her for doing that. I do.
He's not ready, and that's one thing. That's why he was on the bottom.
He also said something about him not being in a relationship, like a serious relationship. She felt that was a red flag for her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when she's. I don't know, but somewhere around the line, she mentioned in her confessionals that's a red flag. So I put in my notes, follow them red flags, girl.
Mm-hmm.
They're there for a reason. Them red flags.
Follow the red flags for real, because he was definitely red flag. Speaking of red flags, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Okay, so Corey, this is his second episode that he's here. Um,
He was in the bottom last week,
he's
though.
on the bottom last week, and you're in the bottom this week. Corey doesn't know what to say. Corey gets too comfortable too fast. He's a little too comfortable. He is, and I see in him he does have like good, nice qualities. Like you can see maybe internally he has maybe a good heart, or he helped the girl. I can't know Mooney help her fix her flat tire. So I don't know. Moomin, yeah. When then she decided to go on a date with him, and I'm not sure if she did it because she felt pity, or she was like, well, I guess he fixed my tire. Let me go on a date.
I felt that got her hype.
The
Got
insecurity, or
Yeah.
yeah, or maybe she never had nobody to do something like that before, so she
It's,
just
I put in my notes. It's not like a man doing man shit.
right. He was
And
doing
tires, changing the light bulb,
somebody.
just stuff like that. That could do it. Okay.
Yeah, but he just don't know what to say out his mouth. Like when him and Sabrina had a conversation, when they had cocktail hour, he was talking about it was just he says things that's very cringy and make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And
He's like a walking me too.
he don't know exactly what to say. And then he kind of covers that with a joke. And it's not funny. Like I really
Mhm.
want somebody just to blast him, just tell him about himself. Like you're too comfortable. You
Yeah.
don't know anything about personal space. Just like when they were on a date. When they
Mhm.
were on a date and he's talking and
Me and me move. We're on a date.
Moomin and Corey was on a date.
Uh-huh.
She had googly eyes for him and she thought he was funny. They flirted a little bit and then he got a little too close. Like she wasn't even giving him the vibes. Now she was with Courtney. Sure, Courtney would have gave him the vibes. And when he went,
Mhm.
and when they was on the tree bark and he wrapped his leg around Moomin, if it was Courtney might have said ride it. But Moonin, she looked a little.
Right, and it was unexpected. They were I don't know if they was going hiking or whatever, but she asked him to help her off the ledge, off the little brick or whatever.
I didn't catch
And
that.
he turned around, went behind her, how she was straddled, and was like moving back and forth. He's like, "Oh, I was trying to pretend that we were on horses or something like that." And I was like, "What?"
Mm-mm. No, that was
I
off.
feel like, in my opinion, he's just trying to test his boundaries and see how far he can get with somebody. But he's really a creep. He's a creep, and like he's using his dorkiness as a mask. Like, yeah, he's a dork, straight up. He's a straight up dork. But I feel like he's using that as like, as a mask to get with all these, to be, to stay in the number with the women. Like, oh, I didn't mean it.
Oh,
Nah, you know what you doing. Cause I feel like, dude, niggas, y'all been studying women since you knew the beauty of a woman. So I'm gonna say like what, 9, 10, 11. You spent your whole life studying women. So
mm,
don't act like you don't know that what you're doing is weird or cringy. So anyway,
he knows how to do it. He don't, and he act like he don't know how to read the room.
yeah, okay. And yeah, I honestly think she doesn't know how to read the room too, as well. So yeah.
So that's why he was at the bottom. So we had
I can talk
Corey.
about him all day because he creeps me out.
Yes, Corey.
He's a creeper, and I'm mad he's still on there.
He is. He really is. And I think she kind of liked him. I don't know. I still don't know if she liked him. I don't know if they gave him a pity date,
Mhm.
or because she actually genuinely liked him. Or, like you said, when he was doing man shit, he up there changing the tire.
Doing man shit
That,
is sexy
and
as hell.
hot.
Mhm.
Right? You're gonna change my tire? That's wonderful.
Mhm. And you know what's sad? Like how all these they don't have people they can call for shit like that. Like later on in the
Mhm.
episode, the girl, one of the ladies couldn't make it because she was in a car accident or something, but she called one of the guys from the show to help her out. I'm like, it's so crazy. You can't call like a friend that you known for a long time compared to somebody that you just met 2 days ago. So I don't know. It's just crazy how
Yeah.
people dating and I put in my notes, this is another topic, dating through a pandemic is these people. I want everybody to keep in mind that everybody's dating this, they're dating through a pandemic, a whole pandemic. Dating is weird, period. But dating through a whole pandemic is even weirder. So let me just be show some grace to these people, but also just share my opinion because some of this is crazy. But I'm gonna give a little grace.
I gotta give me a
I'm gonna give a little grace to the folks that are dating here. Just that we're dating, they're dating through a whole pandemic. So a lot of them, what I noticed, were very emotional on their date. I know Aisha when she was on a date with the guy. I still don't know his name.
Harrington.
Carrington. Okay. She was on a date with Carrington and she just started, crying on this date about, her process and going to therapy.
Here.
She got teary eyed.
Okay.
Okay. So I feel like we're already going through a struggle and then we add dating and shit all on top of that. It just makes it even, heavier. So she got emotional. And then someone else on a date got emotional. And I want to say that's last season, not last season, last episode when Walter and her name's Sabrina,
Mm-hmm.
they were crying. She was crying on a date. Like, I feel like it's they. I really want them to get a therapist on set. They need a therapist on set just to help them navigate.
Yeah. They don't just need Tommy. Tommy gives me anxiety when he gets on the show because
Yeah, I feel like he wants to be.
comes
He
in,
wants to be the star.
in
Yeah.
and he just, hey, how you doing? Like I'd be like,
Oh, how you feel about that? He doesn't know how to go deep with them, how to help them sort out their emotion. Like he don't have the tools to do that. And that it bothers me. I feel like he wants to be a candidate on the show,
he got the preacher voice, but not the preacher voice.
but not a preacher.
Yeah, just be anxiety. I can't. Um, so we know that Corny, Cory, and Carrington is at the bottom. Those are our bottom people, our bottom feeders. This this episode. Um, so what about the date or the group date with Naeem, Walter, Z, and Shiloh and Devontae?
Ooh.
Remember
I
that?
was, yeah, that was interesting. That date felt like you guys were interviewing to be in situationships and not
I love
a date. Because they went straight to talking about sex. They went straight to sex talk. And I was like, okay, this doesn't sound like y'all ready to love. It sounds like y'all ready to, hook up. Um,
But because Shiloh is an intimacy therapist or something.
right.
So,
She is, but I felt like she went into what she was comfortable with
mhm.
instead of just being herself. Because don't fall into your occupation or I don't know. She went straight for the sex. And I feel like that's something you do with, like, if you're on a one-on-one date.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I
I like Shiloh. She
do like her. I just feel like that wasn't the right time.
and it's like they were also. I think she started it, and then everyone else
Yeah,
like it's like you were competing for stories. You know,
exactly. Yes.
who can have the most raunchiest or not raunchy, but more free.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
whatever.
Because
So yeah.
instead of, because I mean, I feel like she used the fact that she's an intimacy coach, like use that towards her, you know, advantage or whatever,
Mm.
which is fine. You want to use what you got to work what you got, girl. But for the other people, they didn't like veer off into like talking about their strengths because I feel like but I do appreciate what's that girl?
Tasia.
Thank you. Tasia, she wasn't giving into this. She was like, I'm not about to, because they went around the table. What's your most uh place that you, what is it?
Something crazy. I kind of zoned out because they were
Something about the most exciting place you had sex or something like that. And one of the girl, Tasia, was like, I'm not about to tell that y'all what in her confessional. I'm not telling y'all what I went. That's between me and the person out of. So I'm like, yeah, some things is just between. I'm not about to. We just met. It's your first official date. I'm not. That's boundaries, intimacy.
yeah,
That's too much.
yeah.
Especially if you're dating for like long term. But if you're just looking for a hookup, sure, spill those stories out there, whatever. But I feel like if this is ready to love, that wasn't a ready to love conversation for me. I don't know.
Ready to
But
laugh.
one of the persons did veer back. I feel like, you got something to say?
No, I said ready to lust.
Ready to love. One of the peoples did veer back and talked about something else, and I think that was the trainer, the the
Oh,
coach
we just gonna call her Z.
Z. Okay, she mentioned something um that veered away from sex, so I thought that was cool. I was like, good, change the subject,
Like,
switch the pace a little bit. So yeah,
but the women stood out in that conversation. I don't remember Naeem. He's probably gonna be a daughter, maybe.
yeah,
And I don't remember the Devontae guy. Like he has no conversation and no personality. He
that's
is
really
doorstop. Like he has nothing. And these guys are, I don't know what you banking on, but as the competition, because it's kind of like a competition, as elimination comes closer and closer, what are you going to fall on? You're going to have to give us
thing.
something. You can't just be here just not giving nothing. He's,
But like it goes back to what you said. The guys aren't used to competing in relationships.
oh yeah, I mentioned it off screen. Yep.
Okay, well talk about that because that was the thread here. A lot of men, what I know that here in this situation, they weren't used to competing off.
They're not
They're
so
not even competing, just shooting their shot. Because I feel like
a woman pursuing a woman,
mm-hmm,
being in a competitive atmosphere. So, um, and like for example, if they're in their younger years, like in their 20s or they're in college, yes, they're chasing after the women. They know how to get it. They know they're going and pursuing the woman, and the women are choosing the guys. But when they get older, like where they are right now, they're like the successful black man in their field. So the black man in their field. So we have one superintendent deputy. They're all successful people. The men and the women are successful. But being a black successful man in this industry, especially in DC, and all those beautiful women, like you're basically the pick of the litter for real. So you're not um, basically you get lazy in those type of environments as a man because women are more aggressive and I mean not aggressive, assertive. They're a little more assertive of what they want. So they are going to come to you or talk to you or approach you. So you really don't have to work that hard. So men do get lazy in your late 30s and 40s. You don't have to work too hard. You kind of lose your touch of pursuing
mm-hmm. And if one woman falls by the wayside, that's okay because you
Yeah,
got like 5 others, 10 others in your
yeah. And
Rolodex.
that's what
Rolodex.
here. So when you sitting here in a group with the women and the men, and now you're on a chopping block, like this week, the men on the chopping block. So now you find a way to get back into the game because you lost it because you haven't been used to pursuing women. You haven't pursued women in a long time because you were the one getting pursued.
Mhm.
Pretty much were because women really don't at this day and age. Women are a little more confident. They're a little more assertive. They know what they want. They don't have a problem approaching a man. Most, I mean, from what I've seen, especially the older you are. So,
Yeah.
and that's what's saying here. That's why a lot of the men really don't have a lot of conversation. They really don't have a lot of personality. They don't really have to fall back on.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I haven't seen not one man that has good personality except Tyrone and Walter.
Yes,
Yeah, those are the only two for me.
conversations that actually talk. Like nobody has personality. I can't remember who you are. You don't really, excuse me, you don't really stand out. So they have a lot to reflect on and think about. Because yes, um, in your field, work wise, career wise, you are winning. But personally, mm, I don't know where these guys from.
Yeah,
So, but we know at the end we're not going to hold you. We're about to wrap it up because who was in elimination? Corny Cory,
it's between creepy Corey,
creepy Cory, creepy corny Cory, and Karen.
creepy. Yeah, yeah, and who else? I don't know his name. I can't pronounce it. Hold on.
It was three of them. See, you
Who-
horrible.
Who's the guy? I don't know his name. Antonia.
It was
Oh, Carrington.
yes, I said Carrington.
Oh, I didn't hear on my part. Sorry.
Carrington.
Corey and
They
Carrington.
calling him the politician because
Yeah, the politician. Yeah.
politician.
So
He
the women put him at the bottom because they felt that all of his answers was like copy and paste. It's like I feel like he's a politician or not really being honest. And then when he was on the phone with Sabrina, the
hmm
the woman from Korea, but
don't know Korea.
or whatever. So he said he got an attitude with her on the phone when she mentioned about her age, mentioned to him about her age, and he was like, "Well, let me know if you got a problem with it. I've dated women older than you, so if you got a problem with it, let me know." Like she didn't like his response to that. So I feel like it goes back to what Tonya said that those dudes just don't know how to date. Like
Back with women, it's sad.
they're not used to dating mature women, in my opinion, based off what um, Sabrina said with her conversation. So the chopping block it was between Carrington and Creepy Corey.
hmm
So they decided to get rid of Carrington.
Right. And then while he did, when Camille talked to him, he still was a little, still not authentic. He was still standoffish and he
Right.
sound like a Republican. Like he still sound like a politician.
He's like, okay, so when we going, he thought he was on a date. He didn't even consider it a
All the conversations was boring. And I was like, these women are very interesting because I remember them. I damn sure don't remember none
I
of
don't
this.
remember none of the guys. I don't. But in my opinion, I feel like they should have got rid of Creepy Corey. But I feel like he's a sexual harassment case waiting to happen, and I feel like they should have got rid of him or both because I'm not really feeling Carrington either. But if I don't know, I'm still curious why they still got the creep.
This production. He's very entertaining. He's more entertaining than Carrington. I would, well, not just me, but he will get more views than Carrington because Carrington wasn't really memorable. But we know Corey. Corey, we just gonna keep people gonna watch him like, oh, it's time for him to go. Oh, he's still here. Oh. I hate Cory. And then you on Instagram like, who is Cory? Well, let's find out who Cory is.
You find out who Corey is, right? Okay. I don't want to put no salt on his, make him, but he gives me. He's very
I
questionable.
just feel like he's just awkward. Like
He's okay.
you
So he's
he's an excuse, but I just feel like he's not being himself. Like he self sabotages. Like I feel like the girl Moonin liked him, but then as soon as when I don't know, she was giving you some good ammo. She was shooting, she was shooting the love arrows at you, and then you do something that was totally a disconnect. It didn't land for me, and I felt like she was uncomfortable. But since the video was, I guess she wanted to play it. I don't know how she felt about it because some stuff maybe been cut. I really want to know her thoughts about him riding her.
ex- and her face even looked uncomfortable, but that goes into Black women trying to protect Black men. So maybe she was uncomfortable, but didn't want to appear to be uncomfortable because she's on TV and she doesn't want to put a bad name to this Black man. That's where my mind went. Because literally, if y'all on a date and y'all just minding your goddamn business and he asks you, okay, let me help you off this log, but yet turns around and gets right behind you and just, I don't know. I don't know.
It wasn't good, and I think she kept him around because I don't even think she had any other connections just yet. I, I
Yeah,
haven't.
okay, right. So maybe she kept him around because she didn't have any other
Stay
connection.
in another time and talk
Yeah,
to.
I didn't want to speak for her, but Moomin, I hope I'm saying your name right. Tell us, how did you feel when you was on that log? Because I don't want to put words in your mouth. I could be wrong. We could be wrong. Maybe you liked it. Maybe you thought there was a good advancement in the flirtatious moment. So we could be interpreting it wrong. Holler at us. Let us know, please.
All right. So we got here, folks. This
That concludes our cut. It's a wrap podcast on Ready to Love.
and we'll see y'all next week.
We'll see y'all next week.
All right. Bye.
All right. Peace and blessings.